Bullfrog like made up that thing. So like, shouldn't he be banned from everywhere? Like, I
Well,
don't
I
know. I don't want to
understand.
ruffle
Well,
feathers. You know what I'm saying?
I know I want to say it, but then again, I think Prince. Well, he says he was going through a lot, and he was mad at Bullfrog for sexually harassing him. And I guess I know we have to get the word from Prince because when I spoke to Prince last night, after I got home from work, I called him and I told he explained to me he was very calm. He said that he was not trolling Bullfrog. He was heading back from Georgia back to Texas, and um
Right.
and the service that while they're excuse me, the service during that road trip was not that good. So obviously that person may have been a troll account posing as Prince. So we do
Yeah.
not
Right.
know. We want
But
to.
we could start the show whenever. We can
Yeah,
start
all
the show
right.
whenever.
I'm
I'm ready.
okay. I'm ready to roll right now.
Okay, well, hang on just a second. Let me get.
So I'm thinking about possibly adding Prince to the call to get this whole bullshit so much to worked out there.
Well, let's
Hopefully.
wait till after we're doing all that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's what we
Okay.
are doing.
Okay.
Okay.
What?
Nope.
Crap.
Okay, welcome back to
And
welcome to Arknolia the Doctor, episode 77. Our A to Z prog rock list continues here. We had to get some of that stuff out of the way there before we continue on with our before we continue with the main topic of our show there.
yep.
Okay there.
Yes.
So and we'll let Ark start with the O's, I believe it was there. Correct?
Well, the first one I got is one that we all should know pretty well.
Yeah.
Mike Oldfield.
Yeah, we know the
Never
man.
heard of him.
Oh, he's a British composer and musician. He played all the instruments on the majority of his albums, including Tobar Bells, which later became the
Oh,
theme
wow.
music for the Exorcist movie back in '73.
You mean Tubular Bells?
Tubular Bells. Thank you. I always had trouble pronouncing that word there for some reason.
And
Did he
Omadon and
also
Hergus
Omadon.
Ridge.
Yeah,
did he also
Mohammed.
sing?
No, he was an instrument. He did.
It was
ins-
basically a 40-minute instrumental.
Wow.
Oh.
All
He did.
three of them.
Yeah, all on most of his albums are instrumentals there.
I mean, there is the talky parts.
No, there are a couple times.
Where he introduces the instrument.
What's that?
He introduces the instruments.
Which was done by somebody else there,
Yeah.
but it was not Oldfield himself there. I think there was another live version that I guess Burgess Meredith. I think somebody else did it. Somebody well known in the UK, if I remember. I'm trying to remember right now there, but there have been many Tubular Bells. There was Tubular Bells 2, 3, 4. I think it was. All right.
What was that?
That was my notification on my phone there in the background to let me know that YR is live
that
on
you
his
get it.
channel. Yep.
Oh, I thought maybe it was a notification say, hey, you're going to be going live.
All right. No, it was not that. It doesn't do that for my channel there. It only does that when somebody replies to a couple of my videos. That's about it. All right.
Okay, next one I got is kind of interesting because I didn't. I guess they're prog, but I didn't consider them prog. Opeth, Swedish progressive rock band with death metal roots. Yeah, because the stuff I've heard from them, they got the growly vocal, deep, the growly vocal bit.
Growly vocals, yeah, Muna, and it's done by a male, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a.
You've heard of Opeth, right?
Yes, I've heard of them, and a couple times I'm mistaken them for the group Old Tep, which features a female singer there of the same name.
Yeah, their stuff's interesting, but like I said, I didn't consider them prog, but I guess they are considered prog with death metal overtones.
Yeah, but again, sometimes death metal musicians have often strayed away a lot of times during their performances. One death metal group I remember hearing about often a couple times would come out and start doing a jazz composition. And I know Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath did that on the Live at Last live recording from 74, 75, 74 I think it was, 74, 73. It's on that in the middle of their rendition of Wicked World.
Well, I kind of figure YR knows who Opeth is. Bound to.
Have you heard of him, YR, by chance?
I don't think we have him.
Let me check.
Oh my bad. I'm eating dinner.
Oh,
No,
I
I
see.
never heard of him.
Oh,
There
have you
go.
heard of Opeth?
No.
Huh.
Boba Fett?
I know it sounds silly.
Yeah, that's
Oh, we
it.
all know Boba Fett. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if
never.
it was a band named after that. But then again,
Keith, have you ever
Lucasfilms.
heard?
But then again,
you?
Lucasfilms would jump down their throat.
Most of the songs I've heard by Opeth are, to me, sound more like death metal growly stuff.
I see
But
there.
it's not bad. I mean, it's good, what I've heard.
Yeah.
Next band I got, I should do more research so I can give you examples.
Okay.
Is Osric Tentacles.
Zurich Tank. I've heard of that band a couple of times there. And they're from the UK, from what I understand. There, I remember they were written up in the Detroit Free Press back in Michigan. There, like 1 to 2 times there. I guess they were gaining a lot of praise, and this was in the early '90s there.
Yeah. That kind of covers the O's for the most part. P's.
And now we're on
First
to
one
the
I got-
P's.
First one I got here is Pavlov's dog.
I've heard of that. They recorded. I think. Did they record? Didn't they record for SST Records or Wax Trax Records? If I'm correct, one of those two
And they
labels.
actually they're heavy on the Mellotron.
Were the 80s, 70s, 90s?
70s.
70s. Okay, so I was mistaken there, because there was this other group that started with a P that with a similar sounding and spelling of that name there, and I thought that may have been that band that recorded for the two labels that I mentioned.
Yeah, well, Pavlov's dog is named after a scientific experiment. Because Pavlov's dog is a famous one that he's conditioned, somehow or something. It's a scientist did. I don't recall the exact experiment, but it had to do with a response. You train them to do something a certain way based on, like, well, if I move my hand like this, he's gonna jump in circles or whatever.
I see there, yeah.
But basically, it's a well-trained animal.
I see. All right. Interesting there.
Let's see. The next one I got is The Pineapple Thief.
Pineapple. I don't think I've heard of that band there.
Actually, I have, but again, I didn't do my research.
That is an interesting.
I've heard of them, but I can't tell you anything about them off the top of my head.
I see there.
And I think we all know the next one.
Yep.
Pink Floyd.
Oh yeah, we know them all like the back of our hands. We still love them to this day. And
I know Pink Floyd.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Keith sung a Pink Floyd song cover the other day, The Wall. Remember that, Keith?
Yes, another brick in the wall.
Which one?
Ken said, I think it was Ken. He put it in the chat. Another brick in the wall because I think we were talking about Joe Cronin.
No surprise there. I get it there.
All in all, he's just another brick in the wall.
Oh no.
Brick in the wall.
Prick in the wall. That's a joke there.
Yeah. I know 2 songs from Pink Floyd. I know Another Brick in the Wall, and I know Wish You Were Here.
What about the other? What about Comfortably Numb, In the Flesh,
Nope.
or Run Like? Oh yeah. Oh, what you waiting on,
You
dude?
got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, you got. Oh, we got lots of them, man. We got a lot of songs, a lot of albums.
Well, like, do y'all prefer 70s Pink Floyd compared to the 80s version of Pink Floyd?
Yeah, overall I do.
Well,
I mean, I don't discount their 80s stuff. After
Right.
Waters left, I like some of
a
it
lot
very
of
well.
people, a lot of people were kind of disgruntled at the direction Floyd went when Waters left the group there.
But
My uncle, one of my uncles, he only listens to classic rock, and he stopped listening to Pink Floyd, and he stopped supporting them
What?
because they did a concert in Europe, and they gave all their money to the Palestinians.
Hmm.
Mm.
Oh. When was this? Was in '87 or '94? Because there
No,
was.
it's like 2018 or
Hmm.
2019. Well, I
Uh,
think
What?
it
No,
was
they
wait,
didn't.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
2018.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa,
well,
Pink
That
how
was.
Floyd
did they
hasn't
do
toured
that?
in
Roger
No.
years.
Waters
Why there may have been
and
Roger
and
Waters doing that because Roger Waters is the only one who basically still tours occasionally. Pink Floyd stopped touring back in '94 after the Division Bell. They did
Can
a
you look?
successful tour, and that was it. That was their very
Heath,
last
No, but
tour.
what about? I
Heath,
think they
Heath,
did it.
Heath, can you look up a news article on that? Maybe we
Yes.
can.
Yeah,
Maybe you got confused. Maybe it is Roger Waters.
yeah, I'm thinking the same thing because he was always not for the Israel side. That's me. That's what I
He's
remember
a
hearing a
big
couple of
He's a big
times.
liberal guy. He's a big liberal.
I'm thinking so. Maybe I'm thinking so. Yeah,
yeah,
because I remember.
and I think Floyd themselves haven't toured since Richard Wright died.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. The last performance was the Live 8 show back in 2005. And that was the last time we ever see that particular Floyd ever again, unfortunately.
Well, they make that do that tribute on the
Tribute.
Pink Floyd experience or something. It's like a laser show too.
Yeah, I
Have you
remember.
heard about
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I remember.
from Australia, I think.
Yeah,
that? Yeah.
yeah, the Australian Pink
Mm.
Floyd show, or Brit Floyd, or all these other Pink Floyd tribute bands out there. These other Pink Floyd, laser shows. Those were highly promoted back in the Southeast Michigan area,
Yeah.
multiple times there, multiple times.
I found like two articles. I'm reading them right now.
All right, go ahead
Um,
and let us know. We go ahead.
okay, I'm starting kind of in the middle of the article. The
Yeah.
show benefited the this was 2016. The show
Yeah.
benefited the Hopping Foundation, which raises money for the children of Palestinian refugees. Water and Gilmore agree on very little, but they are both firm supporters of this cause.
Wow.
I see there.
That doesn't sound like Israeli.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or Palestine or
And then here's
Pakistan.
another article. Pink Floyd star Roger Waters, Pink Floyd star, and why his fellow musicians are terrified to speak out against Israel.
Mm.
This is 2016.
Wow.
American
Thinking
musicians.
maybe
Bueno.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking right before COVID hit, he was touring Roger Waters, correct? 2017, 2018.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He's the only one that still consistently does tours there. I know David Gilmour hasn't toured in a couple of years now.
Yeah, what's
Since
up with that? And that's the one when they show the younger Pink Floyd videos. That's the one with the long blonde hair, correct? Played
Well,
guitar.
yes, that's him. The
Okay.
Fender guitar there he usually plays.
Yeah, so in 2018 he did a charity event raising money for the Palestinians.
Ah.
Wow, Keith was right there.
And that's when my uncle stopped supporting Pink Floyd.
Oh wow. Or supporting Roger Waters.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Roger Waters, he was like one of those multi-political type of guys. He was like he kind of like had a more liberal side. He spoke out against Trump. Spoke out against Israel. I guess what it was is that when his father died in the Second World War, that kind of like provoked him towards the anti-war scene. I mean, like the Wall album and the movie had elements of anti-war elements in there as well as the 2010 tour celebrating the anniversary of the Wall there. I think it was the
So
20.
when that movie wait, two questions on that. And C Brown bands we've heard of, we can talk more about them.
Yeah.
It's more. So what year did that Wall movie come out? Number one.
It came out in 1982.
And did that come out in the movie theaters?
Yes, it did. There were no
Wow.
DVDs. There were hardly any back then. We had to go to actual movie theater to see this movie here. We had to
Right.
actually do that. Whether it's Return of the Jedi or Poltergeist or E.T., any of those movies.
Oh,
Deep.
back then in that day, people probably went on, did a little cocaine, did a little some acid,
Yep.
smoked some doobies watching that movie. Probably is it
Yeah.
trippy or like trippy like that
It
or?
was. It was. The movie was very dark. It was like
Oh,
It had
okay.
a very angry and dark. It was like life from the perspective of the Pink character. His wife cheated on him. His mother
Is it
being
like a war movie or no? It's like a
no,
real
it's
life movie.
no, it's basically about a guy who isolates himself, a musician who
Really?
reflects on the all the hurt that he's went through growing up, losing his father in the war, his mother being a controlling bitch, and then his wife later on, cheating on him behind his back, and of course, the ideas of disillusionment, anger, they start to build up. He sees himself as this monstrous fascist dictator who leads these, black suited, black shirted, a bunch of Nazis going after everybody there. Instead of the Nazi symbol, they replace it with two marching hammers. The marching hammers that we all know from both the album and on the shirts, everything else there. He later, and I guess in the end, he's kind of like in a mock trial where the people who helped build that wall testify against him.
Yeah, the wall, that whole album is a concept. Well, a lot of them were, but the wall was a basic concept the way that Earl just described it.
It was probably one of the most. It also kind of like reinvented the concept album when you look at it there, because Animals and Wish You Were Here and Dark Side of the Moon, well, the two in between that and Dark Side of the Moon were
Right.
kind of like so and so when you think about it there. Wish You Were Here was about the music industry. Animals was based upon the George Orwell novel Animal Farm, mixed in with the political and unemployment, resentment, and situation going on in England at that time there. So and plus, with Roger Waters' own personal issues going on at that time there, his vision of the everyday life, the world around him was getting more grimmer and grimmer and grimmer. So it kind of makes sense for Roger Waters to write that album. And also not to mention the fact that he spoke out that the magic that we used to do and do Pink Floyd shows in back in the early days had disappeared. They had to now convert to human jukeboxes, having to play the hits over and over. At one point, he got so disgruntled and frustrated that on their last tour in '77 for the Animals album, some fan had in Montreal had tried to got the way through the gate, and wanted to say
Wow.
hi to the band, and Waters in response spat in his face. And that,
Well,
wow. And I guess everyone was appalled by the whole what he had done there at that time, including David Gilmour. Waters, when he got back to the hotel room, just sat and stared at the wall and saying, "How could I turn against one of my own fans, a member of my own audience?" He still says to that day that was a very awful thing for him to do at that time. He was, of course, at that time, throughout the whole 80s, he was
oh,
disgruntled.
speaking of that, speaking of that, when we're done with the list, let's dive into that. Did you see that chick that peed on that dude's face at that
Yes, I
concert?
did. I heard about that. I was reading about that late last night.
Yeah,
So what
she
the
does a bunch of
fuck?
like it's a band, but she does a bunch of covers too. She covers a lot of rock songs too.
Yeah,
This chick.
with the brass horn section there. The band is called
Yeah,
Brass Against, named kind of like a
yeah.
take on the band Rise Against.
Have you heard of that band before?
Brass.
No.
I've heard of Rise Against, but not Brass Against until that
Oh,
article came out. So the video was also shown as well there.
but yeah, we'll dive into that later because you know how we do our rock news every week. We do,
Yes,
and
we
I have a
do.
couple
Yeah,
more rock news pieces. But go
Doctor,
ahead,
yeah.
Arnold.
you want me to call Prince right now?
Oh
Well,
my God.
No,
no, wait till
No.
after.
Okay.
Wait
Wait,
till
I'm
after the
fucking
list.
just.
All
Can we
right.
just stick to the? I mean, Arknolia is. Come on, he hates the drama. I don't want to do the drama around Art. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
hey, thank you,
Yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
Sabrina. Yeah, I was gonna say, wait till after we're done with the list for now.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead, Arknolia, brother.
Okay, next one I got is an interesting band that I'm very familiar with, and I was trying to get Dr. Earl to
Yeah, I know who they are.
Porcupine Tree.
Yes, you showed me 2 videos from them. Their drummers, it's pretty good stuff there. Their drummer that he told me about was pretty damn good. They're behind the skins there. And it's pretty good
But
stuff there.
it's a Steve Wilson group.
Yeah.
And Steve Wilson has done other things besides, but it's basically his band, and they have quite a few albums out, and they're very, very proggy.
Yes. In fact, the Wilson had, I think I mentioned this before, Wilson had a hand in doing some of the remastering of the Jethro Tull album, A Passion Play. And that's available right now on the Crystal/EMI, if I'm correct. I guess a lot of things, a couple bits were remixed on that album there, I guess.
Yeah, and I would recommend highly that you listen to the Porcupine Tree.
Oh, yeah, and I will. Definitely check it out later on tonight.
What year was that? What year were they out?
1987 through 2000.
Oh, my God.
And they've actually reformed and just released another album, but I haven't heard it yet.
Here, let me go back to the Pink Floyd real quick. I forgot to ask you all these questions real quick. And
Sure.
we can close that.
Go ahead.
Did you or Dr. Brown ever see them live in concert?
No, unfortunately.
No, but I wished I had have.
I know I wish I would have. I checked out the original the wall performances from 1980 there. They did about six dates in the U.S. and a couple in the U.K. as well there. And me and my dad managed to see David Gilmour when he had that solo record, About Face, which I also recommend. When he played the old Pine Knob Music Theater in Clarkson,
Pine
Michigan.
Knob, what year was that?
1984.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because I was about to say I think that was it, though, your David Gilmour concert. But I think unless I'm mistaken, someone in this community actually saw the real Pink Floyd before. And I figured it was one of y'all. But someone saw them originally, or someone knew. I don't know. But
if I was going to recommend,
I think maybe a Dave Rose, or someone saw them for real.
Yeah.
But if I was going to recommend a concert DVD, I would recommend Pink Floyd, The Pulse.
Pulse from 1994 when they had the Division Bell.
It's an incredible, incredible show. The light show, the whole bit. I mean, it's a show.
It is.
And they play a lot of their top songs.
Yep, including Dark Side of the Moon all the way through in the second set.
Yeah.
And by the way, one more bit. Their album Momentary Lapse of Reason from 1987, the first Without Waters, that just got remastered and kind of like remixed and updated. That's available now on their label, Pink Floyd Records. It's a double album, whereas the original was.
I'm gonna have to hear that.
Yes, it is. And I guess it's kind of a different cover than what the original was there. It's kind of similar, but they had a few things change as well there. But I definitely want to hear some of that. It's kind of remixed there.
Yeah.
I hope to get that on vinyl pretty soon there, because that's where it's available. I saw it at the Barnes & Noble, and also saw it at the nearby Walmart.
Yeah, the Momentary Lapse of Reason and Division Bell are both good albums. It's debatable whether or not they match up to the earlier stuff, but they're good on their own.
Yeah, but
it's not one of those things that, the Waters albums are great, these two albums suck. They're different, but
very different. They're very good. They're very good albums, not superior to the stuff when Waters was still with them, because a lot of the albums the last few records they did with Waters had that psychopathic genius added to that.
Okay, so I got an update.
Yeah.
Rose saw Gilmour, and then he saw Waters with his own Flesh Tour band. Remember Flesh Tour?
Mm-hmm.
The Rose is a huge. See, I figured it was someone. It's see them both on solos compared to not seeing them at all. I'd take that.
Yeah, sure. There, yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I figured it was Rose that pretty much saw them the best way you could. But go ahead, guys. My bad. I just got that.
It's
update.
okay there.
Well, the ironic thing to me is Waters wasn't so good that he made the band transcend everything. It was just a good mix, because the other three guys are the ones that, you know, bluntly, Waters wasn't the world's greatest bassist.
That's true there, yeah. He was mostly known for, he's not that much of a singer either. He was mostly known
No,
for his lyrics that he wrote for the band.
right.
And he was a damn good lyricist. Keep that in mind.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So it's the differences in the band with Waters in and out are not significant. They're just different.
Very different. Whereas Gilmore is not so political, except for the songs that he wrote about Waters on the Division Bell, like What Do You Want From Me or Poles Apart.
Yeah.
Or better yet, Lost for Words from side 2 there, because I had the original vinyl.
Yeah, he did one song that was had a political bend to it, but I'm not sure exactly what he was trying to say. Great Day for Freedom,
Yeah, I think it was, yeah, from the same album there.
but I'm not sure what the direction of that song was.
I should probably look it up for you. I definitely. Go ahead, Ark.
Well, I was going to say on Porcupine Tree, there's a lot of songs that I would recommend. Even Less is one I can think of off the top of my head. Radioactive Toy. I'm doing this off the top of my head. Heart Attack and a Lay-By.
Mm-hmm.
That's from 1999, right? That Even Less song from 1999.
I believe so.
Play a little bit on my stream here. The people listen.
That is a great song.
All right, here I got the the topic of A Great Day for Freedom. It was originally titled "In Shades of Grey," addressing the great hopes following the fall of the Berlin Wall and the disappointment that followed. David Gilmour said, quote unquote, there was a wonderful moment of optimism when the wall came down. The release of Eastern Europe from the non-democratic side of the socialist system. But
they play the slide on that song, huh? They play the slide.
He does. Gilmour does, yes. But
on this, on this Even Less song, this Porcupine Tree.
Well, actually, it's not a slide. He's sliding on his guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Gilmour plays a lap steel instead of a slide.
No, we're talking about Porcupine Tree.
Oh, my bad.
I'm listening to it right now. Yeah. No, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead. I'm listening to it on the stream.
Yes. Now, continuing with the quote that David talked about this song here, quote unquote. But what they have now doesn't seem to be much better. Again, I'm fairly pessimistic about it all. I sort of wish and live in hope, but I tend to think that history moves in a much slower pace than we think it does. I feel that real change takes a long, long time. Now, Gilmour's statements to the contrary, the lyrics have been often read as a reflection of the bitter and estranged partnership between Gilmour and Waters, who was, of course, the driving force behind some of the band's albums like The Wall and Animals and others. By this interpretation, the great day for freedom would be the day Waters had left the band, giving the other members freedom to determine the band's future direction. Gilmour commented on this reading, quote unquote, I'm quite happy for people to interpret the division bell any way they like, but maybe a note of caution should be sounded because you can read too much into it. A great day for freedom, for example, has nothing to do with Roger or his wall. It just doesn't. What else can I say? And it was also a leftover from a momentary lapse of reason. There you go.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ark, my man.
I don't remember the drummer's name from
Porcupine Tree.
Porcupine Tree off the top of my head,
Mm-hmm.
but the guy is absolutely phenomenal. Next group I got in line here is Primus.
Oh my goodness, they were bigger on the alternative scene there. These are the guys who did the theme for South Park. They did songs like Tommy the Cat. Albums like Primus, Frizzle Fry,
Oh,
Sailing on the Seas of Cheese. Um, Billy was a race car driver. Tommy was it Tommy was a race car driver? I think it was.
I think you're correct. Yeah.
wait.
Oh yeah, because
Um,
and Les Claypool from that band, he had the most unique bass sound. My personal favorite from them was My Name Is Mud from '93.
Yeah. And
All right.
YR Keith had something to say there.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead, guys.
Devious Dave Rose would like to join the program.
Yes, get him on,
Um,
dude. Get on, dude.
Eminem in the song "My Name Is," he mentioned Primus. He's like, "Hi kids, do you like Primus?"
Yep, they all do that. Eminem mentioned a lot of things. He mentioned Nine Inch Nails, Spice Girls, you name it.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, next band I got in line here is Procol Harum, which a lot of people don't see them as prog, but boy, they were prog.
Yep.
One of their biggest prog songs that most people haven't heard but should is one of the early long classics. It's in Held 'Twas I.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 17, 18 minutes long, and it goes off in a lot of different directions, and it's a good listen.
Yeah, I remember.
Dave
What up, Dave?
I had to interject because Wire didn't get it right. Okay, so 94, I think it was, for Division Bell.
Yes, it was.
I saw Gilmore with, is it Nick Mason?
Or Richard Wright, because I know Wright was involved with Gilmore. Mason
Yeah.
was involved with
Yeah.
Waters on the 2006.
It was everyone but Waters, basically.
Yeah.
Plus, they had, their extras, the singers and all that sort of thing.
Back up.
But, yeah, that's basically what I saw. Division Bell at, what was it called? Fucking Exhibition Stadium in Toronto before they tore it down.
Wow.
That was 94. And I believe it was 98,
98.
maybe. 97, 98, where Roger Waters played with his In the Flesh tour band. Wire, not Flesh tour.
I think
In the Flesh.
I remember that. I think that was in 2000, if I remember there.
No,
Is there-
it was
couple-
prior to that. I was still
Okay,
in
then.
high school.
All right, there.
It was quite the memorable night.
All right.
Memorable.
Memorable night.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. I did smoke a little. But yes. And because I also bought my parents tickets to that show as well because they love Floyd, and I got some good seats. I was making some good money then. But yeah, that was prior to 2000, and yeah, that was Roger Waters with his ensemble of people, and he sang obviously his, a lot of his catalog from Floyd as well as outside of Floyd, because he has a fair bit outside of Floyd. Personally, I love Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking. I have a LP of that. The uncensored UK version, not the censored American version, where you've got the little black bar on the bum of the naked hitchhiker.
Yes, I remember that album.
But I also have the actual DVD, the CD, the audio CD released in North America, where you do have the censoring of the bum. But I've got the LP, and I remember finding this, and it took some time for me to find this, but serendipitously enough, I found the LP at a high school garage sale.
Wow.
And what a fucking find that was.
What about Radio Chaos and Amused to Death, which I had?
Radio Chaos was not bad at all. But the problem is that he is so melodramatic. Like, he should have grown out of his high school mentality long ago. He's still this dopey, droopy, depressed individual and stuff. And, I don't necessarily agree with his politics. And he's really just, he's a drag, man.
Yep.
one thing I always questioned was, did every album he had to come out had to be a concept album? I mean, after a while, it's just kind of it gets overdone once in a while. There.
True. That is a good point. But I mean, he did raise some good points, social points and stuff. But I think the social points, for example, in my favorite song, "Pigs," 3 different kinds,
Right.
those social points were fucking perfect because it went along with the music and it didn't sound like it was what we've got now, which is just like really overbearing and it's very much like what because he's obviously British and so forth, and they're much more socially aware, I guess, or socially active than Americans are. But he's getting to the point where he's like SJW level American,
Yeah, that's
where
true.
it's just tiring. It's just like, come on, man, get off it.
Yeah, I mentioned that he was anti-Trump. He was in support of Pakistan. He spoke out against Israel. I guess there was this wall somewhere in Pakistan. I guess he wrote the words, "We don't need no thought control," something like that on there. And I guess they asked Gilmore about it, and he said, well, there's 2 types of Roger. There was Roger the conservative and Roger the liberal. And we've been seeing more and more Roger the liberal as for the past couple of years there. And of course, we cannot forget the anti-war Roger as well there, stemming from the death of his swab during World War II there.
Yep.
I mean, there was lots of that during the 2010 tour anniversary of The Wall.
And I found it quite interesting that with Radio Chaos, for example, "The Tide is Turning" was sort of featured at the end of the
Wall performance.
the Wall, the live
from
Wall,
1990.
which was that was an amazing production. I mean, we can't take that away from him, that he does have that vision to be able to put on like these types of shows. And has anybody really come close to that? Like Kiss puts on a spectacle. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
It has nowhere, like, I mean, Kiss is the disco of rock. They're vapid, they're superficial, and it's just fun to listen to, but you're not going there like with a Pink Floyd song and saying, what am I learning about society?
Exactly.
That's
I'm not
true.
distracting from Kiss. I'm just saying there's a clear difference between the two. And yeah, can Kiss put on a good show with fucking this steel ball with like motorcycles running inside, like a freak show and shit, and flames and pirate? No, that's a great show. But when it comes to something like The Wall in Berlin, I mean, I don't think anything has come close to that.
No, and also to include the guest performances on there from Cyndi Lauper, Thomas Dolby, members of the band, Sinead O'Connor.
I think I have the VHS of that.
Wow.
Of the concert.
I had the two cassette copy of that album when I was still living in Richmond, Michigan there. And we also got to include Van Morrison and of course Albert Finley, Terry, what's that? Mick Jagger's ex-wife there. What's her name? Dang gummit. Whatever. She was,
shit.
she was the one that was doing, "Oh my God, what a fabulous room." Just before one of my turns.
I'm seeing right now.
I remember that.
Yes.
Jerry Hall.
Jerry Hall. Yes, thank you.
Jerry Hall,
It was Jerry Hall. Thank you.
I'll do that again. That was.
What do you mean?
What?
What you want to hear me do it again? Gosh.
And I remember that. I remember that scene though too.
Yep.
Because it was just like it sounded so over exaggerated.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't Mick Jagger like 25 and she was like 15 or something, or no?
I don't know, but I think. Well, they got together soon after his divorce from Bianca Jagger there, and they've been together for how many years there? What the fuck?
Oh, she was like Hispanic or something, Nigerian, Nicaraguan.
Who, Bianca? I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nigerian.
It's a shame Dave Rose wasn't here when we were talking about Mike Oldfield.
Yeah, I was going to mention, Dave was recommending the Amadon album to me, which I did listen to. Yeah,
but, I'd be willing to talk about it, or it's too bad because I don't think you'd be able to review the song and then pause it and then talk about it, because then it would probably be flagged or something. But I mean, there's so many parts of that song that I like that I think need to be recognized on their own. Obviously, it's a proper album, proper prog rock album where at least in my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I do yield to Arknolia because he is the elder here. But I mean, there really shouldn't be any evident division between songs on a prog rock album. It has to bleed all together. And yeah, they're going to timestamp it like, oh, okay, that the song starts at this time. But there's no direct stop and start. It's just, it flows. To me, that defines a prog rock album. Because it really is just one big performance. It's one big song. But, you know, for the normies, you got to break it down and make song names and all that sort of crap. Yep. You can't really literally not name your album and not name your production and expect to, I guess, make it with the music industry, you know?
Well,
Untitled Symphony number X.
Yeah, well, his big three did exactly that. Tubular Bells, Omadon, and Hergus Ridge.
Yep. And the other
one song.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Since Dayro's here, I always wanted to do this, and Dayro's is rare that he's on these music shows. But when JB came out, and I forget it now, did he say that Boston was or was not prog rock? What was the thing?
He actually said that Boston was prog rock, and I was aghast.
Yeah,
and
he's
then all these
completely
people
wrong.
are like, "Oh no, Dave, you're wrong." Blah blah blah. Leah's like, no, but the thing is, though, their stadium, I believe
rock.
One of the definitions, stadium rock. They're not prog
tiny
rock.
elements.
Now, what's that?
They have tiny elements of
But that's the thing. That's the point I was trying to make, is that, yes, you can say that there's been influence on Boston that is of prog rock, and you clearly see it evident, but you cannot say that they're definitively prog rock. Pink Floyd, in my opinion, is so prog rock that they are their own category now. They are Pink Floyd.
They are.
Right.
So that's the point, and there's others. I mean, like, yes,
Emerson, Lake and Palmer,
King Crimson.
I've been listening a little bit. I haven't listened too much. Sorry. I know that you've recommended multiple times, and I have been naughty there, Earl, about listening to Tangerine Dream. But I did start listening a little bit to them.
Ah, nice.
And yes, awesome shit and prog rock. Not Mindworks. What's that? No, it's German. It's German. Something works. Come on, guys.
Kraftwerk.
Kraftwerks. Thank you. There we go. I mean, there's so. Alan Parsons.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and I think Earl, you were talking about this the other day about what's the album with? It's basically like
iRobot.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Tales of Mystery and Imagination.
Dude, that is one of my favorite albums of all time, of all musicians. That album is fucking incredible. And if that's an album that you would want to talk about, I would most definitely want to talk about it with you guys.
All right, definitely. We got to do that. Because one of these days, we should probably do spotlights on different albums, break each track and each song
we gotta
element
do,
down.
like,
definitely.
I owe you Omadon. Because I told you I do Omadon, so I owe you that.
Definitely.
So you can take me up on that offer, and we
Absolutely.
can
we will do that, definitely,
it.
for shizzle.
And then we can do Tales.
I typed in basically prog rock bands, and Led Zeppelin comes up, the Beatles comes up. What?
Oh, you're really stretching the definition on those two.
No, that's probably
Styx.
some Zoomer who doesn't know how to define music.
Styx is close.
Beatles are certainly not prog rock.
I mean,
Not
it's
really,
naming
but-
all the bands we've talked about, the Tangerine Dream,
Because they
Porcupine.
got some of them right.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know about the Beatles being prog rock, because the Beatles were...
They're not. You don't have to know anything. You know already, Earl.
Absolutely,
You already
yeah.
know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Somebody out there just can't tell which is which. So,
Moody Blues.
Yeah,
That's definitely prog.
yeah, absolutely. Fuck yeah.
It's all the bands we mentioned: Supertramp, Deep Purple. What about Tool? Tool.
Definitely, they're definitely a prog alternative.
Ooh. Whenever we get up, have
prog alternative? Well, would you not consider them industrial? I guess
Something
maybe?
like yeah, but that's true. There was somebody I knew who lived in Windsor, Canada, who wrote for industrial music fanzine.
Oh
He mentioned something about you look in every industrial section at the record store, and most likely you'll find either a Korn CD or a Tool CD there. So Debbie, because at that time, a lot of bands, use a lot of industrial rhythms, a lot of industrial instruments, whether it's a sampler, keyboard, or stuff that Nightbottom used to use in their live shows there on their albums as well. There, Ancient China Nightbottom. I think I got that. I always have shit of a time trying to pronounce the first name, but I know the last name is Nightbottom. But they're
Right.
considered the industrial pioneers out of Germany.
Would you
Well, we got Dave.
would you guys say that industrial shares a huge amount of influence from prog rock?
To an extent, yes.
Yes.
I
That's
would
a-
go with that.
Like a Skitty Puppy,
I-
or the Nightbot, as I mentioned.
Well, let's backtrack to a band we mentioned earlier while Dave's here.
Wait, I want to say something.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I love Tool, and I want to see Tool in concert.
We're going.
Oh.
Me and Keith are going. Fuck it.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Uh,
what was that, Arknolia?
Opeth. The list I'm looking at has them in prog rock, and I always consider them kind of death metal growly.
Growly,
I'm
as in
not
how this.
familiar with that band.
Well, they have what I call growly vocals, where they got the guy that does the gutturals. Yeah,
It's got kind of
gutturals
stuff there
too.
because just barks into the microphone.
It's not screamo, because that's a different thing entirely.
Yeah.
But it's more of a guttural. It's kind of like Ginger, their female singer.
Oh man, have you ever seen that group there? She sings normal during the during the verse, and then when it gets to the chorus, her voice just transforms. It's like God and Satan on one track.
Yeah, when you hear her drop into that low guttural, whatever it's called, it's kind of like, wait, that's the same person.
Whoa! That's the reaction I had when I heard that. I was like, motherfucker, son of a gun. All right, sir. So
There's another one I'm going to ask. Dave
Dave, Rook.
while he's here.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Nightwish?
Well, I heard you guys talk about that the other day, and I was, sort of cheering, because yes, I absolutely do know of Nightwish. I believe I have their entire discography. I don't know if anything's been
Symphonic
released
rock,
since I went on a little binge there on the downloads.
I
But
think they released
yes,
something
I do believe I
recently.
have their entire discography.
nice.
Why do you ask?
Oh, I'm curious who you've heard.
He was just wondering,
Okay. No, because okay. I obviously, being as distinguished as I am, I do love classical music, but symphonic metal to me just blows my fucking mind.
Yes.
Yeah,
And,
it's incredible.
Oh, there's a
And,
lot.
Well, there's also operatic skills there as well. So it just came together so well. Very, just
Yes,
huge
especially
sound. You could see that they could garner a huge amount of people to watch them in concert. And oh my God, those live, you can really tell the quality of a band or performers by how they can perform live and how
Coach
little is
Love's
necessary to
Yep.
make them sound good. And I noticed that with Nightwish is that they were just amazing live.
Oh, yeah.
They are, yeah. I remember my ex-girlfriend, she was bragging about them. Bands like Within Temptation, Epica, she was big into that scene around the later early 2000s when we hooked up. And it was around 2010, 2011, 2012 there. Constantly playing their stuff. She was
Well, the
more...
next group. Oh,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say the next group you guys may not have heard of. Dave might have. But when I can tell you, what band came from them, you'll know who they are.
Yep.
Protocol.
Protocol. I think I heard of that. I have heard them one
I'm
time.
not familiar.
They generated themselves into Kansas.
Oh my goodness.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, this is an early Kansas, basically.
Wow.
'Cause I love
Interesting.
Kansas, but
Well, that's
Oh,
kind of like
Kansas
kind of
is
like
great.
for all you people out there that doesn't know what that means. It's like, I heard a story today where the record Blizzard of Oz, it wasn't supposed to be that. It was supposed to be a band with Ozzy in it called Blizzard of Oz, but they actually turned it into the name of the album and made Ozzy the solo artist. So
Yeah, it
it's
was
kind of
so-
similar how.
Yeah,
You know
it
what I'm
was. Yeah, it was originally supposed to have been called Blizzard of Oz, and of course they decided, you know, what, let's make. Let's. You're right. As YR mentioned, let's switch it around there.
Yeah. But, we talked about, we spent an hour on Kansas.
Yeah, we did.
Again, one song I'm going to recommend, and I'm betting Dave has
Carry
heard.
on my wayward son.
That's one of them. We all know that
There'll
one.
be peace when you are gone.
But the one I'm going to recommend again is from Song for America. It's called Lamplight Symphony. That song has got an incredible story.
Yeah. Very interesting story that he brought up there. And also, let's also keep in mind the album Monolith, which is my personal favorite. I had a good time listening to that album, along with the cover and the gatefold of that album there.
Well, actually, my favorite is probably Left Overture.
That's the big one.
And not just for Carry On Wayward Son, but Magnum Opus to me is tremendous.
Yeah. And of course, we can.
I have to get going, but before I do, I just want to ask Arknolia and Earl, have you guys ever heard of the band called Monster Magnet?
Yes, I have. I remember that song.
Yep.
I guess it came out in '93. I will deny you. I will deny you.
Oh, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, yes.
Absolutely. That was a badass
I've seen them in
song.
concert. I've got their discography. They're fucking awesome.
They are.
There's a lot of prog rock influence there, but there's a lot of different things in that. That's some crazy style music.
Absolutely.
You really should check out some of their stuff. It's fucking great. But I'd love to talk with you guys at some point in the future. But I got to get going. Thanks again for taking my call, and
Thank you for having on. It's been a while since you've been on this program there.
Indeed, and I wish I could have been at the points where you did shows about topics I wanted to talk about, but I wasn't around and couldn't call in at that point. So you guys did your own thing, which was great on its own. But I hope that eventually we can get to those three particular topics that I was so enamored with.
We got to do that. We got to do that. The special edition.
Your knowledge in that would enlighten me, because you guys always have the greatest trivia when it comes to this sort of thing.
Thank you.
All right. We appreciate
that,
guys,
Dave.
You
have a great night.
You too, man.
We'll talk to you later.
Divas Dave Rose, ladies and gentlemen, joining in on the show here. Always glad to have him on.
Kind of a shame that he had to leave, because Protocol only released, I think, 2, and they're very obscure recordings. But that band had the core of Kansas in it, and they basically changed the name from Protocol to Kansas.
Yeah. Most likely they'll probably show up on the bootleg on the YouTube nowadays, I guess.
That's possible. They might be there. I've downloaded a couple of recordings that I found from them.
Hell, if there's recordings from Black Sabbath when they were still named Earth, then there might be a couple of those recordings that we just mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, in Q, the one band that they list here is interesting because I've never considered them prog other than their early stuff.
Let me guess.
And that's Queen.
I knew he was going to say that. Yeah.
I mean, their early stuff, the first 3 or 4 albums, have a lot of prog about them, but then later they kind of got away from that.
Yeah. Keep Yourself Alive from the first album. The other track from there called Liar. Queen 2, And of course, A Night at the Opera and its sister album, A Day at the Races.
Yeah, and we both know what those are named for, right?
Absolutely. We all know the main tracks from Night at the Opera, one of the main ones there.
No, I'm talking about the album names.
Yeah. It's kind of like kind of, A Night at the Opera, then A Day at the Races, if I'm correct. Kind of
Right.
like, they were sister albums, either way there.
Well, they were Marx Brothers movies.
Oh, I see there. Oh, wow. I never realized that. I never saw Marx Brothers movies until one time when it was a lunch break and the TV was showing their old flicks while I was on lunch break at work there. I don't know which
Huh.
flick it was there, so my bad for that.
Well, I've seen a lot of the Marx Brothers movies.
Oh, yeah.
They're, well, considering they were made in the 30s and 40s, they're absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays they don't play well, but back then they were way ahead of their time.
Yeah, it's true there, yeah. Along with the
Now,
Three Stooges
Groucho
and
was-
Oh yeah, Three Stooges, and I was more of the Three Stooges type of guy there. I used to watch them. In fact, I remember doing this, and this was stupid of me, but I was a young dumb kid at that time. We were trying to pretend like we were the Three Stooges, and I whacked my sister on the
gosh.
head with something in there, and she started bleeding, and I got a whooping for it. But I was like, well, wait a minute, how come any of the Stooges, Mulder and Curdy, they were not bleeding? Turns out that shit they were using to hit each other with were fake.
Right. But we don't know that as kids.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, that won't play today. But
Precisely.
the world's possibly the world's greatest ad-libber was Groucho Marx.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you throw those ad libs all the time,
Holy
man.
cow. You say something and he could find something to make it funny.
Absolutely there. And of course, we cannot forget W.C. Fields and Laurel and Hardy just as well there. They got to be
Right.
thrown into the mixing bowl.
And I guess Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, yeah. That's true there. When the prime kings of comedy during the silent film rage there.
Yeah. Okay, can we get through the R's before we need to quit?
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Yes.
There's not but a few.
Mm-hmm.
The big one is Rush.
Oh, yeah. The big one. The big sausage there, I guess you could say.
Yeah, we did an hour on them, actually.
And we did, yes. And what more can we say? There was one of the prime bands of the world there, hailing from
And they're
Toronto,
Canadian.
Canada.
Sorry, Dave.
Yep. Toronto, Canada. Yeah, one of the big ones. The albums they've definitely made their landmark top notch here. Songs like Closer to the Heart, Limelight, Tom Sawyer, all the works they have done, 2112, as I mentioned. What?
What? All right, so have y'all ever seen Rush live in concert?
Unfortunately,
No.
I haven't. But I have. But they did VH1 Classic when that still existed. They showed this one concert performance that they did from a couple years back there with a full orchestra. And I remember seeing Exit Stage Left, the concert movie, the hour-long concert movie on the old MTV back in the day there. And they definitely had their stuff down pat.
Yeah. And next R I got is Roxy Music.
Oh my gosh!
Wait! Before we have to give a rest in peace to the great Neil Peart.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he passed
Right.
away. Same day I saw Rise of Skywalker. Wouldn't you believe it? It was on a Friday from cancer.
You'll never hear Rush as a three-piece original band ever again live.
Yeah,
and if
Dave-
you
Nope.
saw them live,
Nope.
keep that concert stub.
Yeah,
Keep that
absolutely.
concert,
If you have any autographed by any of those guys, they're now collector's items.
God, what a great band.
They were
Man.
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Roxy
the last
Music.
two.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, Roxy
No, you go
Music
ahead.
was the Roxy Music was the next one there.
Yeah.
They were more glam prog, I guess you
Right.
could say there. I
Yeah,
mean, the look
they
they
had
had,
elements of prog, but
absolutely a glam. And I mean, the way they looked at back then was definitely prog. They kind of fit in with the bands like Sweet. They were like the early David Bowie during his Ziggy Stardust phase there, like Wizard. That was the thing back then, you know. And their albums always featured women on their cover.
oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The first album, For Your Pleasure, Country Life, which had to be censored. We talked about that album there.
Yeah, that one was definitely fixed.
They had to touch it up there. If you saw the original, you'll know what I'm talking about, folks. There, Manifesto was when I first heard of them with the song "Dance Away." I guess they came back there after a couple year hiatus. I think it was Brian Ferry, who was the front man. He also had a solo career at that time. At that time there, he'd done a lot of albums, including Boys and Girls. Slave to Love was one of the singles from that record there. He had worked with David Gilmour of Pink Floyd, who at that time was everywhere, as you know, working with Ferry, Paul McCartney, and a whole bunch of others there. Arcadia, the Duran Duran spinoff.
Yeah. The last two I got are both solo artists, and I'm going to go with Jordan Rudess first.
Jordan Rudess.
That's an interesting guy, keyboard player that I can't remember the band he was in, but he had several different albums that were good.
I see there, yeah. I see.
And I'm closing with the next guy because we can talk a little bit about him.
Yep.
Todd Rundgren.
Oh man, he did. Yeah, this is the guy who originally wrote and performed the song "Love Is the Answer," which got covered which became a big hit for England Dan and John Ford Coley a couple years later. There, I listened to the original song, of that track there, and this is the man he had a solo career and his band Utopia at the same time. He was like one of the main artists of Bearsville Records, along with Foghat there, which was at that time was distributed by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Hello, it's me. Was one of his
which he actually did when he was in his first band, Naz.
Yeah.
Which is a different version.
I saw the light.
It's the same song, but it's got a different feel to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, that song and when I Saw the Light in Your Eyes would become staples on the soft rock stations during the 70s and early 80s there.
Yeah, I think my favorite album by him was something called Raw.
Raw. R-A-W?
No, R-A.
Oh, okay.
It had a longer title, but I can't remember what it was, but it was about the sun god.
I see there. And he also did an album which was with his voice only. He used, I guess, different effects, I guess it was. It was called A Cappella. And he was also the pioneer of what it was called the video music production there. He had some of the stuff he did with Utopia on the MTV there was kind of unique. The one video for You Drive Me Crazy was one of them. That was a kind of funny video towards the end there. And plus, we cannot forget his staple album, Something Anything.
Right.
That's considered, one of his... It's his own Dark Side of the Moon, I guess you could say there. Every band and artist has their one unique album. Right.
Well, I'm trying to pull up Rundgren on Wikipedia because I want to find the total name of that album.
Oh.
Because it's raw about the god of something.
Okay, let me help you look it up for you, man. On my phone here. Blah blah blah. Okay, give me a couple of minutes here. Okay.
And I'm going to his discography.
Okay, there.
So I'll see it there.
Okay. Todd Rundgren Raw album. All right, there. And once it comes out. R-A-W. Raw. R-A. It's a Utopia album. It was the third release by his band Utopia on Bearsville Records in 1977. Todd Rundgren was planning on releasing the album in 76, a year before, on his own label, Ethereal Records, as the new four-piece lineup was not signed to Bearsville just yet. Replete with the elaborate $100,000 stage show and 22-foot tall pyramid and the Golden Sphinx. It took about 8 months of prep. Raw was Rugran's most ambitious live undertaking.
Yeah, the name of the song that opens the album kind of was what I was looking for. It's called Overture,
Mm-hmm.
Mountaintop and Sunrise,
Yeah.
Communion with the Sun.
Yes. And the album was modestly successful, peaking at number 79 of the Billboard Top 200.
But that album has got some great stuff on it.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, interesting there. So I kind of fumbled my words up there. All right, so starting this Thursday, we're going to go to the S's. If I'm correct. Yeah, all right there. Okay, let's.
Were you gonna dive into this?
We got to dive into that singer from Brass Against there. We got to talk about what she did. Now, she was doing the show. She said she had to go pee badly. And I guess she called on, she called on someone, a male participant, to come in so she could pee on,
Yes.
I guess?
Yes.
And
have you heard of this band before or no?
No, I haven't heard of this.
Actually, I had not heard of them.
No.
I looked up and they do a bunch of, she sings a bunch of covers like Alanis Morissette, I think a Tool cover. And
in the brass horn kind of style, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Now, isn't that considered, indecent exposure or something like that, I guess?
Yeah, she pulled her whole pants down.
Oh, man, she peed right in this guy's face.
If it was a man that did that, oh, my God, remember what Marilyn Manson used to get in trouble for?
Oh, man, he's still getting
all that?
He's still in trouble, man. There are a lot of more accusations. There were a couple articles written about the abuse he did to this gal.
Didn't he used to take his wiener out on stage and stuff?
Yeah, he did. He teabagged the security guard. He did that to a security guard. He did that to a security guard when they played the former Pine Knob back in Michigan many years back in the early 2000s. He teabagged him.
You know what? What was really crazy about this concert? Like when she was done pissing on him, she said, "Hey, security, get him out of here! Get him out of here!"
Oh my gosh! And they just did that. I guess he had. Oh my gosh! I wonder what that guy was thinking.
A souvenir.
Oh my God! Not like what you're expecting, but what the hell?
Yeah.
I got an autograph. I got an autograph from the singer from Brass Against. Well, I just said I got her urine on my face. Yeah, kiss me.
Well, you saw at the tail end. If you watch the tail end, and I sent this link to Keith, and it's straight up on YouTube. Multiple links of it.
Yep.
When the guy gets up, like I guess it's obviously a puddle of urine because she's spraying. I mean, it looks like literally a water hose.
Oh my God!
Spraying out like liquid. It's way different how a man pees. And like the man picks up a puddle of it in his hand, palms it, and like throws it in the audience.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, dude! Oh my gosh! Oh my God! I gotta see the whole complete video now that you mentioned there.
I think guys who want a golden shower have never gotten pussy ever.
There are some out there who do get pussy, but that's to them it's not enough.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there. I'm watching the video right now. It's one of them there.
Well, it is kind of weird when you think about it.
I know.
Arknolia, did you see this video yet?
No, I'll watch it when we get done.
Yeah, be very. Oh my God.
Well, Brown, are you watching it now?
I am watching it right now.
Okay, so explain to Ark what is going on.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
oh my gosh. Oh,
I know. And this is on YouTube.
Dr.
Brown.
I know. It's like you can't post. I almost got. They couldn't use one of my thumbnails for a swimsuit model in one of the thumbnails, but they'll show this.
Brass again.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. She just got down, she squat down a little bit, and it came out like a faucet right onto the guy's face.
Why would he throw it? Why would he like take a photo of it, throw it in the crowd?
Because when you people were like, "Come on, bro!" Like when you do stupid stuff when he's probably drunk or I don't know.
Yeah, remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Look what he's doing. Look what he think he's doing. Like, why wouldn't he do that? Look what he's doing in the first place.
Well,
you know what I'm
well,
saying?
it's a lot better than that one idiot who ate that horse shit when the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl.
I don't know.
That
That's
was
kind of, I mean,
stupid. Gross.
I mean, listen. Like at the end of the day, she is kind of hot, right, Brown? You think that chick's
Yeah,
hot?
she's a little bit, yeah, but
Would you let her pee in your face?
no, I just couldn't do that. That's too
I
much.
wouldn't let the girl. I wouldn't let the best girl I know do that.
What?
No.
Dr. Earl, would you let any girl pee in your face?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
That's as gross. I'm sorry. And the guy who did that, the guy who wanted that happen to him, I don't know what he was thinking. He must have been high on something there.
I would drink it, guys. I would just. Oh yes.
Oh boy.
Tell you what, let's hook
the pine knob. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's tell you what. I got a better idea. Let's hook this chick up with Bullfrog.
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah. Well, speaking of Bullfrog, that Prince situation.
Yeah, we got
to.
Yeah, let's do into that now. Everybody knows the situation who saw the YR show last night there. I'm going to try and add Prince to the call here, if you guys don't mind there, so we could get his take on the whole bullshit here. Because I hope he's still on. Yeah, he's still here. I already messaged him that I'm going to add him to the call here later on when we're done with our situation here. Actually, when we're done with the main topic. Now, Prince Idol left him a voice message saying, there to Bullfrog was talking, accusing him of harassing him and all that jazz there. So YR was live. I jump in to watch the show there, and Bullfrog, of course, is queefing and bitching like the queefing bitch that he is. And he starts, complaining, yelling, I know it's Prince Idol, I know it's Prince Idol, and but he said the name was just Prince Idol, when it's a different name that Prince is now currently using. He's been using it for the past 3 days there. All right, there. He says he can't talk right now. I'll call him later. Son of a name goat. Here was his chance, man. So probably when they get done with the show, we'll have to keep YR and Keith on so we could get the later on. You could probably I'm getting tongue tied there. That's right, you blocked him. So I'll try to add him once again there. I'm losing my train of thought there.
Do you think it's appropriate to have him on shows after what he did to Bullfrog, or do you think everyone forgot about that?
I think we should probably let that go. I think Prince kind of learned his lesson there. He did.
Really? That quick, Dr. Brown?
Well, I learned my lesson when I got fired from my previous job for what I did. What it did.
Yeah, but compared in this community, you're an angel and you're a godsend to this community. Mm-hmm. You don't do nothing wrong in this community, Dr. Brown.
No, I know that. Yeah, that's true there. But you know what? But back then when I was working at my previous job, I had a lot of resentment. I had a lot of anger. And I expressed that in some of my videos there, what this person did to me, what that person did to me. And I made a mistake. And it took me getting fired from that, to realize I was in the wrong. I was an asshole. I was carrying on grudges from years back up to this point. You had to let the past go, And I'm sure Prince realizes now he made a bad mistake. He realized he did something wrong. And he did express to me he misses being on your show, YR. He misses being a part of this community. But I told him right now he's got to concentrate on his upcoming daughter being born. He's been going through a lot with that situation, the passing of his mother, which he stated that which he stated was true because he did send me a notification of the memorial service for her there
in the Skype. You got confirmation?
Yes,
wow.
Yes. Of course, him and Tony had a long talk, and Tony, if I understand, apologized to Prince for saying that it was all made up and all that. So I'm thinking,
I think what we did for Prince, we kind of bent over backwards for him to make him feel welcome. I mean, we covered a group that neither one of us knew. I knew nothing about.
Yeah, Hanoi Rocks.
Right. And it was kind of like, well, they don't even fit with what we're doing right now. But What the heck?
But it was, and and you also got to remember, I sacrificed my working relationship with Minnesota Vikings fan to have Prince into this community. Minnesota, came into barging in, Prince this, Prince and that, and I'm sure the last thing, Prince would want is Minnesota going off on him again, saying see what I told you, what about Prince Idol, this would be a chance for Prince to redeem himself, and get back on the straight and narrow, needless to say.
Yeah.
He expressed about when he did get in contact with YR, but he says you blocked him. You said Tony, I guess Dave blocked him as well there.
Well, in respect to Bullfrog, I did, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's true,
'Cause,
yeah. But then again, and by the way, I was listening to that last night while I was at lunch break before you called me in to give the confirmation on the situation there. Bullfrog, you was about to wring Bullfrog's neck for the way he was ranting and raving there. He was about to punch him one.
That.
I know it's like Jesus Christ, dude, let the fuck up. But then again, Bullfrog has that mental disorder that keeps him at a 5-year-old child's pace there. So obviously,
yeah, I don't personally have a problem with Bullfrog. I just don't want him on this show because I don't think he can contribute anything.
No, he wanted to, I think I mentioned this before, Ark. When I was on the YR show, he said he wanted to do a music show with me. I was like, no. He's like, you don't really know the subjects that we're speaking of here. And Bullfrog was like, oh, you don't want to party with the Bullfrog? No. Because Bullfrog has no clue what we're talking about. He has no clue of the concept of these programs. He has no clue of what we are discussing here. All he knows is sit in front of a tube, watching Monday Night Raw, eating pizza, eating ice cream, eating all that cereal, eating all the unhealthy stuff there, sitting up there on his shit-stained couch there, and to be in denial of everything. Everything. You're just jealous of my sexiness. You're just jealous of I'm the star here. I'm more important than you, Tony. He said that a couple of times on your show there.
Holy
YR. Yeah. And the thing, I cannot work with a guy like that with that mentality. I'm sorry.
Right.
See, I like having Keith here because Keith may not know much about the topics, but Keith contributes because he looks up articles and he wants to learn.
Absolutely,
and
there.
That to me is the key.
That's true.
He's eager to learn.
That's what we're looking at. That's what we're talking about there. That's what we are talking about.
Actually, I'm not eager to learn. I just pretend I am.
Oh, you need what?
Well, see, that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, at least you pretend.
At least what?
At least you pretend.
Yes.
Yo, Keith, are you okay?
Yes.
You all right, dude? You're not on those triple C's again, are you, dude?
No.
See, Keith is being honest with us.
That's good there, yeah. That's good. Like some other people out there.
And of course,
damn, I was going to say something, but I forgot.
It's okay.
And the occasional guest of Devious Dave and Gatekeeper Drew.
Yeah.
Which all three of them contribute.
Absolutely there. And Flowmouth Ken as well. He was on this program when Keith and YR was on. You may remember there.
Yeah, it's been a while though.
Yeah.
Right there. I'm going to try it at.
I think Prince. I don't trust Prince. I think if he gets let back into this community, like on YR show or any other show, I think he's like a secret spy. He's like a secret troll. They'll be friends with you for a while, and then he'll turn into the troll.
Hold on a second. Well, Keith, I know you have your opinions, but many times I spoke to Prince, he was always down to earth. He was always, he was always honest with his opinions, his ideas, his thoughts, and everything else. There, we had very good conversations there.
Well, and the thing is, him coming in and being a troll and reporting, well, anybody could listen to these shows. It's not like,
well, he wasn't reporting. He was basically, he was basically, it was basic retaliation for Bullfrog sexually harassing him. For what I first heard, it was.
Oh, okay. All right.
But the idea is that too much retaliation has been done where others have gotten hurt or whatever, others have gotten caught up in the mix in the worst way there. Now, I don't know if any cops have banged on Bullfrog's door since that. I know they did that before, but the way Bullfrog was screaming his head off there, which I heard the audio clip of. Yeah. But then again, you got to remember, sometimes where retaliating leads to more trouble and trouble and trouble.
True.
We've seen that with the West Coast, East Coast feud with rappers back in the 90s there. Two of their biggest stars from each coast no longer with us. Died within the same 2 years, 96, 97, right. Biggie and Tupac. And we hear all the stories of violent retaliation from all these biker gangs. The Warlocks versus the Bandidos. Hells Angels versus the Devil's Disciples. You name it. I was reading an article about all that. It's like, holy cow, dude. A lot of that shit went on a lot of times there.
So are Hells Angels good people or bad people?
No.
Not really. Not really.
They're bad people.
But we're not really good.
Okay.
You look up what happened at the Almont Music Festival from 1970 arc.
They work with Scott behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Yeah, they were hired by the Rolling Stones to be security.
They were hired by Scott behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Anyway, they were hired by the Stones during the Almont Festival. It's supposed to have been a West Coast version of Woodstock. The Grateful Dead was supposed to play, but they canceled out when they saw the bullshit that was going on. Jefferson Airplane was playing there. Marty Ballin, from the singer from that group, he got a boot to the face a couple times there because he saw this fan getting attacked by the Hells Angels. And the Hells Angels, they were not regular security. They were like violent security there. Very, very violent. And one of the Hells Angels apparently stabbed a black fan for some reason there. I don't know what it was. And it was caught on, I guess, because, and here's something else, because Jagger, I guess, didn't, either they didn't get paid, well, they were paid in beer, I know that for sure, but there was a sort of retaliating move that the Hells Angels tried to do. There was apparently a contract on Mick Jagger, apparently according to a news source, until one of the presidents said, not so. You can ask Mick Jagger yourself. There was this one reported attempt where they were going to put all these explosives on a little boat, and they send the boat overseas to where this place where Mick Jagger was having this party, and when it would touch the land, the whole thing would blow up, bam. But apparently that didn't work. That was all hearsay, for what I understand there. But the Hells Angels, all in all, are very not the bunch of guys you want for concert security, let alone be drinking buddies with.
All right, got it.
Yeah. All right, there. All right.
Should I unblock Prince?
All right, I think so. Yeah. Are you going live, YR, later on? I'm going to message him. You ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see here. I'm waiting for a response to that. I just put.
No, I don't think I'm going live. No.
Okay, so I was hoping that we could get this whole thing straightened out here and there. This whole situation. I will try.
YR,
go ahead.
YR, do you want me to unblock Prince?
Yes. See if you can add him.
This is a Dr. Brown thing. I don't.
Yes, do so, Keith. Yeah, do so.
All right.
All right. Let's hear. Go ahead and see.
I want YR to tell me.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I want YR to tell me if I should unblock Prince.
I don't know.
No. Okay, I'll take that as a no.
What would Jesus do?
I'll give it a shot at adding him once again.
Yeah, come on, Brown. You're
okay,
the ringleader in this.
Yeah, I was the one that brought it up, so I'm going to try and add him to the call again there. Because I don't think Art can stay up any later than what it is now. I guess he has to head to bed, I guess, or do his other things there. I know I got
dialysis early.
I see there tomorrow. Yeah, it's on Tuesdays here. That's true there. And plus, most likely, I got a couple of things I may have to do later on when we're done with this show here. Still unavailable there.
He said, I'll call you later.
Okay there. Yeah, I see there. All right there. So I will call, when Prince calls, I will get YR and Keith onto the show. How about that?
Yeah, that's
And we could go live on my channel once again and just address this whole thing. Does that sound good, guys?
Are you really going live right now again?
No, I will go later on. I got to find out what's going on here. It's
all right.
Well, I'm gonna watch this other show starting at around 9.
Why?
Right. Which ones?
Well, I don't want to say.
All right.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. All right there. So later on, like I said, I will figure out what we're going to do here at the house here. They probably want me to go grocery shopping and to take care of a couple of things here. But after that, I will get a hold of Prince and I'll wait till he calls me, and then I would suggest that we go live on my channel with him, me, and YR and Keith again.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. Call me. Doctor will call me.
Yes, I will call. I will call you.
Tomorrow.
Yes, definitely. I will call both you cats when we get a hold of Prince there. Definitely for sure there.
Okay, I'll talk to you guys Thursday.
Okay,
all right, brother.
All right there, and we will zoom with the S's in our countdown here. Definitely.